Nightly Musers, followers of the pod, faithful few and hopeful many. This is Anchor by Spotify. If you haven't heard about it, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's the very platform that allows me to give you what I give you on the nightly. So let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And it gives you the ability to distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so much more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally FREE free. So here's where you come in. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That is ANCHOR.fm to get started. Thank you very much. Peace. Welcome to the Nightly Muse. I'm your host, Tinayeshe. And if this is your first time, it would be kind of confusing if this was your first time because we're in the 70s right now. But if it's your first time, welcome to the pod. If this is not your first time, welcome back. Nightly Muser, because once a nightly muser, always a nightly muser. Man, it has been interesting couple of days. Have not been great about recording, but I'm super excited about some things. Life in Between Season 2 is about to start up soon, which is extremely exciting. I feel after my episode, honestly, that episode with Chase, like, it was silly, but really, really, like, sweet. It was one of my favorite episodes, if not the best one so far. It has been absolutely amazing to get some episodes like that out with friends, and just, riff off each other and talk about life and how much we mean to each other and all that. It was organic and fun. Shout out Fall Guys. Things are good. Things are very good. And what else is there to say? Shout out Lo-Fly, as always. He is that dude. And I am very thankful for everything that he has done to make this pod possible from a musical vibe standpoint. It is a huge blessing, and I'm thankful for it. Also excited that as a result of the episode with Chase, I have a pretty clear picture of what season 1 of this podcast is going to be. And so episodes 1 through 100 are going to be season 1, which is insane because some TV shows don't even make 200 episodes, and that takes years for that to develop. And here we are talking about season 1 being 100 episodes, and that's it's amazing in itself. So I'm super excited about that, and here we go. Updates. So the month of July, I didn't have a ton of traveling plans. As a result, made that the kind of foundational point for me to launch kind of my working out every day, trying to be consistent about taking care of my health. And it's been, July was a great month. I made it, I want to say 3 out of the 4 weeks, so 21 days straight, a little more than that. Because I want to say I made it into the month of August, working out almost, we'll say like 27 out of the, the month or whatever, because I did 6 days a week, but there was a lot of, like, I played basketball on Sundays, so technically that's a workout, but I wasn't actually counting that as one of them. And so it was the most active month I've had in a long time. And so coming into this month, I had the Myrtle Beach trip, which was an astounding, really, really sweet, restful time. I don't know why I said astounding, but it was very restful. And on top of that, we had my week, or my midweek through the weekend with Chase. And so I've been kind of out of the house a lot, and it didn't really work out with Chase much that week at all. And so I did earn my stay because I helped him with power washing, and that was a lot of fun. And getting back into the grind, I'm cooking more, which by nature of that, you're naturally going to be, unless you're just frying everything, which I'm not doing, by nature of that, you're going to be eating healthier. And so that has been a fun journey to see, like, oh yeah, like I want to cook, I want to do this. And so when I moved to Davidson, being closer from work to my house will make that also be a lot easier to do. I'm happy. Things are going well. And honestly, today I wanted to talk about prayer. I have referenced that. I have riffed on that a lot in this podcast, but I feel like a lot of this podcast has been me chronicling a lot of new things that I'm learning and trying out in my life. And while last month was primarily about my physical health life, this month feels like it's going to be a lot more about my spiritual walk. And we'll see how that goes. That's just how I feel right now. But I am learning. There's always a song, and I'm pretty sure I've sung this before. But "Communion" by Maverick City. You are closer than my skin. You are in the air I'm breathing in. Here's where the dead things come back to living. I feel my heart breathing again. It feels so good to know you are my friend. That line, my gosh. I'm gonna say it again because it's so good. You are closer than my skin. You are in the air I'm breathing in. Here's where the dead things come back to living. I feel my heart breathing again. It feels so good to know you are my friend. And then there's this is where I'm meant to be, me and you, you and me. I don't have to prove a thing because you've already approved of me. That song is just lathered with truth and intimacy with God. And as somebody who grew up in the church, pastor's kid, you are saturated in a Christian environment. Some call it a bubble. And there are good things about the bubble, and there are things about the bubble that aren't great. But it's a breeding ground for, in an ideal situation, a faithfully grounded kid to become an adult, become there's just a lot of opportunity for all that. And that being said, I got good at knowing I had a head knowledge of who God was. I had a head knowledge of what Jesus had done for me, and my need for him. But it took a very long time to understand that to have the heart understanding of like needing him. And most of my life, I think I developed that understanding of needing him and needing him to redeem me and to restore me. My struggle with pornography very much makes that make sense of viewing myself as not worthy of his love, but understanding that I needed his grace to be what I felt like I couldn't be on my own. But I never necessarily viewed God in terms of the relationship that I had with him or the relationship potential that we had for each other. And so I don't know if any of that makes sense. But yeah, it's easier to view God as Savior than friend. And so in all of that, what I've been learning, and this has been a journey really since that episode 2, talking about King's Kaleidoscope and how they cultivate a honest communication with God through their music. And then in the Where Is God episode, talking about, and that might have been a multi-part episode, I don't even remember at this point, but to talk about that and say like, hey, part of the faith is getting to a point where you can say, God, where are you right now? God, where are you? Where were you when this happened? Why did this happen? Like all of those questions, understanding, one, that there's room for them, and two, God invites us to be our best and our worst self before him. Not in the sense that it's like a license to just act a fool, but in the sense of like, you don't have to hide from God. That's not what we were meant to do. We were meant to be honest with him. We were meant to commune with him. We were meant to run to him first, not run from him first. And so in that, it was I guess Tuesday. It was either Monday night or Tuesday night. It was probably Monday. Yeah, it was Monday. I was in bed praying and red flag number 1, in bed. I'm out here. Dear Jesus, thank you for oh God, thank you for this. I just appreciate. Oh, and I'm just like, I'm yawning. I'm out here slurring my words, and I was like, what am I doing? And so I rolled out of the bed. I put my pillow on the ground, because we got hardwood, or like faux hardwood, and so it was gonna hurt my knees. I'm a big fella. And put the pillow down, and I knelt bedside, still had the lights off, and I prayed. And honestly, this was inspired by a friend of mine, Coach Corman, telling me about his kind of spiritual journey and how he started to cultivate that more prayerful life. And he just exemplified like, oh, this is what seeking the Lord looks like. This is what seeking or trying to hear God's voice looks like, and communicating with him and turning to him first. And so I was like, man, I need to try that. And so and I'd done it before. I've talked about the worst kind of week or two stretch of my life. I decided, because of my mom, I was like, you know what? She turns to God first at her worst, and I don't. And I want to try that out. And so I did, and it was amazing. And one of the things that I was feeling through that situation, and then the later conversation recently with Coach Corman, was I do a good, like, I can turn to God in specific instances well. And sometimes it's not necessarily like a consistent, like when things are bad I turn to him, or when things are good I turn to him. It's like I can do one, but I don't really do the other. And I don't really turn to God in all situations. I'm just kind of like relatively inconsistent. And so I was like, man, like right now life isn't, I'm not in a difficult spot. I feel like I'm actively learning how to utilize the tools that counseling has given me, that accountability has given me, that friendship has given me, and life is good right now. And there's still things I'm praying about, things that are very important that I'm praying about. And in that moment I was like, no, I want to kneel bedside. Doesn't have to be that way. I could have stood up, could have gone in my closet like people do that. Was it The War Room, that Christian movie with Priscilla Schur? I don't know how to say her last name, but that was it was an interesting movie. And that cultivating that intense, this is where I do my work with the Lord, and that was cool. And so anyway, I'm praying bedside, and it's so funny. I mean, it was really late at night, but it was just like that. I started praying until I just didn't have anything to say anymore, and it was an easy 20 minutes. Easy. Like, that 20 minutes went faster than, like, it was just, but it was good. Like, I didn't feel like it wasn't boring. Like, I was praying for people I cared about. I was praying for situations in my life that are important to me right now, and just enjoying it. The next night, I started by singing some songs that we sing at church on Sunday, and it's just some songs that were on my mind. And that was how I spent like the first bit in song, and that was so much fun. There was no guitar, it was just me and my voice, and I was just singing to the Lord. And then I prayed, and I've been ending with the Lord's Prayer every time, and that little Ebenezer stone of remembrance that I have on my nightstand, I recite that. And it's been an amazing, like, yes, I'm ending my day with that, but it like makes me feel like when I start my next day, you know what I mean? Like the carryover is the thing that I've been most kind of surprised by, or just like noticed, oh, like when I pray and I spend this time intentionally with God, it makes a difference following up that, however many hours later when I wake up. And man, it's good. I don't necessarily know if there are going to be a ton of like updates about this daily, because I feel like I'm saying everything that needs to be said, but it doesn't feel like a chore. It very much feels like a desire. And it's crazy because part of it, I think the thing that is surprising to me in the same way, except it's happening faster, is that with the gym, it got to the point where week 1.5 into it, I'm out here like, I gotta go to the gym. Like, I gotta make it happen. I gotta go. Even today, like, one of the updates was I really wasn't feeling it. I worked out yesterday, wasn't feeling it today, and so I was like, you know what, I'm really not feeling lifting, but I need to be active, so let me just elliptical. And it took a lot of work to get on that elliptical today, but then all it took was like, once I showed up and got on there, then the rest kind of took over, and it was a good workout. But even in that, like, this is Thursday, so day 3, day 4, because I started on Monday. That feeling, like, I look forward to shutting things down whenever I do. It's not like oh, it's 9:30, I gotta go. It's like, hey, bro, just know this is how you end your night. And yeah, like I'll wake up, sometimes I'll pray like a prayer. I feel like I kind of pray in the car sometimes, but to have that dedicated, intentional time with God has been something that I'm really looking forward to every evening. And so that's just a quick life update. I don't necessarily have a word of wisdom like explicitly outside of like who am I kidding? I do. We were meant for communion. If you believe what I believe about faith and Christianity, we were made for communion. If you look at Genesis 1-3, we had communion and that was broken. It was disrupted, and Jesus restored that in the Gospels, and He's made it possible for us to commune with God again. And something that I theorize now is that it's probably happening faster, that I'm looking forward to this and not feeling like a ramp up from chore to privilege, because it's something that I was meant for. I was meant for communion with God. I was meant for intimate, open, humble, honest, and transparent communication with the Father. And it's not a beat my chest moment, but it's an encouragement for those who decide to do that in their own walk, to take that step or to keep doing it or find ways to make it feel more intimate. And it could be that you stand in your room. It could be that you go in your closet. It could be that you do it as you drive. But to have that uninterrupted kind of like, hey, all I'm focusing on is you right now, has been a real gift. So Nightly Musers, find your thing. And hey, one day somebody's going to email me. It's the nightlymusepod@gmail.com. Email me some resources. Email me some things that you've done that are helpful to you as you figure out your relationship with the Lord. Some good disciplines, things that you routines, and I don't think routine is a bad word. I think we sometimes, because it's a relationship, it's not a routine, it's a lifestyle, it's not this, but yes, it is something that helps the religion, right? Like the faith, and so would love to hear it, and I love you guys. So shout out Lowfly. That is episode whatever this is. I'm your host Tinayeshe. This is the Nightly Muse, and I'm out. Peace.